it's sung by a figure within their band that isn't their primary singer, Ringo Starr. And it's I Get By With Little Help From My Friends. And I was listening to it this morning. I get by with little help from my friends. I'm going to try with little help from my friends. Get high with little help from my friends. I had a meeting with newfound friends recently. And I've had help from newfound friends through this platform of what I'm doing right now. We had a video that took off about a month and a half ago. And then I went through an existential crisis of sorts where I was facing all sorts of different things. Finding my voice, facing rejection, all sorts of things were coming to the surface. And I had a difficulty releasing much of anything for close to a month. And in our travels, we visited with these newfound friends, especially towards the end of our trip we had taken. We went to their home. They made food for us, and I did a podcast with them. The podcast is called Symptoms of Reality, and I'm going to share it within the description below. But I recorded with them. I was brought into their home, and there was a moment that I sat with them where I felt the weakness inside me, the fear inside me, the pain inside me, and I expressed it to them. And the power that I want to communicate right now is that if we are seen by our friends and our family and people around us, and they have the strength in that moment, call us out, not in harm, doing so compassionately, it can crack the shell because we're finally seen and we can break through. So there's a moment where I told them that I recorded 5 videos when we were on our trip. I released one of those 5 videos. 2 technically, but I deleted one of them, at least 1 out of 5 ultimately. And what they said to me was, "How dare you? How dare you?" And I was taken aback. What if that video that you didn't release was the video that we needed, or I needed, to see? I've been listening to your videos, I've been watching your videos, I've been taking them in. How dare you deprive me of that, and deprive the world of that, and deprive yourself of that? And I felt even smaller for a moment. And they said, "It's important that you release whatever you're creating." And I sat with that for about 30 minutes or so. A part of me wanted to leave the gathering immediately, never come back, just run away and hide. But I couldn't. I committed to going there, I committed to connecting with them, and I committed to facing myself. That's something I want to do with my life. I want to face everything that's coming up with my life. It's the only way through. There's a quote from Robert Frost from one of his poems, "The only way out is through. The only way out is through." By facing yourself, that is the only way out. You can't circumvent it, you can't skirt it, you can't move around it. And even though you think you might be, you are creating your whole life based upon that. You are a mixed signal until you come online. And when you face yourself again and again and again, that signal becomes stronger and stronger and stronger to where you are a direct signal. You are a laser communicating your voice and your vision to the world only by facing yourself, becoming the hollow bone, becoming so clear within yourself. But you need people, in a sense. You need them to be your mirror, to reflect something important back to you, to say something to you, to communicate something to you. And what they communicated to me is what I'm communicating to you right now. Whatever it is that you've come to create, because you are a creator and I am a creator. We are creative. It may be that you don't sing. Maybe you're a writer. Maybe you're a dancer. Maybe you're a gardener. Maybe you're a painter. It does not matter. Whatever you've come to create, you got to bring everything into it, because you're creating yourself. And when we don't, we're depriving the world, and we're depriving ourselves of our creations. And the world, to be a little bit dramatic, suffers from this lack of creativity, this lack of voice, this lack of openness. When someone is creative in your presence, when they're open within your presence, they open. You open. It creates an open exchange with the world. And you take that inspiration and you create. You create. And you are painted anew every day. It's about 30 or 45 minutes in, we have a meal. I sit back with them and I reflect and I said, when you guys said that, it really struck me. It really struck me. And you're right. And I released one of the videos for about a day. I took it down. I felt like I got the message.
Well, hell.
I think that was finally almost close to being a perfect run. Almost. Kind of messed up towards the end, so I had her fade it down. I was like, no, I can't let this go on much longer. I lost my composure, and I just got too involved with the damn melody, and that's what happens when you get too involved with the melody. You start making simple mistakes. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
The 60...
Can you turn me up just a hair, man?
Is it the 62nd day?
61st.
61st?
Right there, yep.
We're still in the sixes.
I am so goddamn miserable.
So miserable.
Miserable.
You sound like it.
Oh my God.
We can't catch a break here sometimes, folks. It's
pollen in the air. It's the allergy season, and she is suffering from pollenitis.
My whole left side is leaking.
and we're battling the elements.
My eyeball is leaking.
Your eyeball.
My left nostril is leaking.
It's the left side?
The
Sinuses.
whole
It's the only side I got allergies.
Yeah, it's the most
Ain't that some
random
shit?
and
Half your
bizarre-
body has allergies.
Yeah,
I love it.
and it goes down the left side of my throat. It's literally only the left side.
The nasal
It's
passages.
the
And
most.
it's like all the fluid is secreting down the appropriate sides.
It's only the left side. It's
Yeah.
the most bizarre thing. Oh my God. And then I was having technical issues. And then the chat is going insane. I'm like, oh my God. I can't. This camera kept going black.
You know what? Stop that shit. Stop your complaining and start speaking some positivity right now. Stop it.
My right side isn't
You ain't special.
draining.
You ain't special. You're not.
My right side is dry.
Well,
No.
at least you got one good side.
Yeah.
There you go. Focus on
Focus
that.
on the right.
Yeah. The right side is good.
Now get back in there, champ.
Particular, hey, out of all people who a fighter, now get your ass back
Right?
in there.
Yeah.
What is it? Nose crusher?
Yeah.
Get back in there, nose crusher.
That's exactly what they would have said too. Go pop that toe back into place and you go back in there. Okay.
Okay.
We want you to pop it back in place in her ass.
Crack. Go back in there.
Use every orifice on her.
It doesn't hurt. Okay, so
Yeah, who's with us?
Lemon Lifer just popped right in and told a story.
Oh,
Damn.
wow.
She couldn't wait.
So I have to go back in here and read this story. The chat limits you to like 15 characters. So literally,
she super exceeds that.
yeah, it's like, I'm like, oh my God, hang on.
She's over there writing a thesis over there.
What happened to,
What do you need? How can I help you?
How can we assist you
How
today?
can I help you? Help me help you.
what the heck? Oh, it's in my pocket.
No,
There you go.
your remotes.
Yeah.
You're trying to slow down the vibe.
Yeah, that's what she does.
Yeah.
She's
on it.
she has to do so many things.
Yeah, I know. This is where Trayvon is finally right, and he can be a damn an assistant.
Jesus. Okay.
The technical engineer of lighting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you notice, I try to choreographic with the
You
music.
do. You do a good job too.
Okay, let's see. Where does this start?
This is gonna be a wild read. I'm already knowing.
Okay, let me wet
We
my
didn't,
whistle.
we didn't
Hold on.
even get time to get to today's topic because we were going to do a topic first. But
I got plenty of tea this time. No, I'm ready for this story. I don't give a shit what
Slim
goes
is
on
like,
today.
no, this is the topic.
Did you finish your coffee?
In the house, I did.
Oh, and then you brought tea.
And then I brought tea.
Jeez, man, he is like,
He's a drink champ.
he's ready.
The wife has trained me very well with hot fluids. Don't worry about it.
He's ready. Okay, let's go. It starts, I believe it's like a story. Like she sets the scene and everything. I believe.
Oh,
yeah,
my
let's
God.
go.
Wait, hold on, Mel.
Let's paint it.
Turn up some music. Do I need to close my eyes and turn the lights off for
I
this?
have the music. It's playing in the background.
Okay, I'm gonna close my
But
eyes.
I think it was
Feed
really
it.
soft.
Feed it to me.
Okay.
Oh, that's too loud. Yeah.
Too loud?
Yeah. There we go.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Hello and I went to the post office.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to run inside for something. Can't remember why. And when I came out, I thought he had moved my car. Why, you may ask? I literally don't know. I thought that was a possibility, but I did walk over to the car.
Turn it down a little bit more, Matt.
Oh. I did walk over to the car, not really paying attention. It was just a light-colored car. I walked around the passenger seat.
Oh, shit.
Even though I drove my car there in the first place.
Here we go.
I said, why is there a dog in my back seat? Where the fuck did I come from? I cussed out. I cuss a lot, so the fuck bomb wasn't anger or anything.
Wait, where the fuck did it come from or I come from? Where the fuck did the dog come from?
Yeah, I was kind of lost by that one, but go ahead.
Yeah, why is there a dog in my back seat?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Where the fuck did I come from? Question mark.
Okay.
I cuss a lot, so the fuck bomb wasn't anger or anything, just a normal vocabulary, LOL. Also, why did you move the car? At this point, I already opened the passenger door.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Leaned down and looked at the driver. It was a woman. Very uncomfortable, not knowing why another woman was getting into her car. And I had the nerve to say, who are you?
Oh, no.
It wasn't my car, not my dog or my friend. I apologized profusely and looked around to find hello. Guess where he was?
In the right car?
In the same spot I parked my car
No.
only 5 minutes earlier.
Oh my God.
I ran across the parking lot so embarrassed.
Of course.
I felt terrible about scaring her like that. Her dog was not even the least bit concerned about me being in the car.
She actually sat in the car?
I can only imagine. Let me see if she finished.
You know,
Hold on,
okay.
bub.
No, she.
I got so much, too.
Yeah, and that was the end of the story.
Oh, okay. So, how lucky do you have to be, or unlucky?
And then Sarah tells a story as well. So after we're done asking her questions, I have to go back and read Sarah's.
Okay.
That is freaking
How
hilarious.
unlucky do you have to be where there's two cars that look the same and she's just going in? I want to know if she actually sat down and closed the door behind her.
How do you
Because
not-
that sets a whole different precedence right there.
There's a dog
Right.
that didn't come
Yeah,
with
right.
you.
And she's getting
Right.
into the passenger seat.
But maybe Hello
She
put a
drove
dog
there.
in there on a random in her
No.
mind.
I want to know if Hello saw her coming out of the post office and saw her go to the car. Like, he's probably thinking, oh, maybe he knows her.
I want to know how often Lemon Lifer doesn't pay attention
Yeah.
to anything in
Anything.
life
Yeah.
but lemons.
Yo, I would have been like, when she said she had the nerve to say, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you?
And why are you in my car with
Yeah.
some dog?
And why did the dog not yap like stranger danger?
No, that's who she said.
Yeah,
The dog
and
was very welcoming.
And where the hell is Hello?
He had to see this go down. It was like, I'm not doing anything about this.
Yeah, I'm going to let her do her
Let's
thing.
let this thing play out.
Yeah, you're right.
She obviously farts in the grocery store. I'm just going to let her do her thing.
What did the lady say in return? Like,
Yes.
I know she said
Did
she
she
was
laugh?
apologizing.
Yeah, did she laugh at
But
her?
what did the lady say?
She's like,
What was the look on her face?
Oh, my God.
she's like,
She probably thought she was getting carjacked or something.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say. She's lucky it wasn't like in like Compton or New York or something. She would have been tased out of her freaking mind.
Yeah,
Yo.
or pepper sprayed or shot.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
Hello, Lemon Lifer. You need to pay attention.
Yeah, you need to. God,
A little
bless.
bit more in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe take some, what is that, Gas X?
Yeah. Take some gas sex.
Before you go to any
Before you
event.
any
go
function.
Yeah.
to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Because not only are you lost,
Or
but,
any
but
event.
you're shitting yourself all at the same time.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Oh my God.
And this is an annual thing with her.
Oh my God, I think I'm about to sneeze.
Oh no.
What?
Jeez.
I want to know the face expression.
Yeah, I have to know more details on this driver. Like, what is she like? Oh my God! But maybe she was just like, oh, maybe this poor white woman. She's
lost.
She's lost. I'm gonna
Yeah.
help her.
What do you mean, who am I?
Yeah.
Who are you?
And why are you in my fucking car?
That's
Cussing
hilarious.
out me
Yeah.
in front of my dog.
That is hilarious. Okay.
Oh, I would love to be a fly on that damn window.
I just want to go around. I think they should like have a show on Lemon Lifer and just like
Follow her.
Yeah. Yep.
The day in the life of a lemon.
Yeah. Perfect. That's absolutely a perfect
How
show.
embarrassing. Then you have to get out of the car, close the door, and just mosey on trying to find your car.
It's hilarious. She says getting into her car, and I had the nerve to say, "Who are you?"
Right. She was like, yo.
And it wasn't my car, not my dog, or my friend.
Not my car, not my dog, not my friend.
Not my problem.
That's what I say.
What did Hello say? Okay,
Yeah,
Lemon
he had to
Lifer.
watch this go
Yeah,
down.
He had to
Yeah.
have seen it. Like,
And what did Hello say when he saw
he's
you?
probably like, you did what?
I've been here the whole time.
Lemon Lifer says, I'm grumpy today and don't even know why. No, Lemon
Oh,
Lifer.
no.
No, we're not being grumpy.
We're not
No.
grumpy. Yeah.
Lemon. When we're in this situation, I'm getting ready to tear your mind up because you should know this.
Yes.
What are you searching for?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You are literally searching to be grumpy. You searched that out, and now you're your own audience with grumpiness. You have the power in 1 second to change that grumpiness into real world. Look at that damn clock that keeps ticking. You think it cares about your grumpiness? Get over it. Stop searching for it. And in this point, take something away from yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, if I were you, I would try to fart as hard as possible.
Fart as hard as
and
possible.
just start laughing at yourself for being
Fart
grumpy.
as hard as possible and run outside to the world and tell them I'm gassy and there's nothing no one can do about it.
Yes.
And I'm going to go grocery shopping. And when life gives me lemons, I give it lemons right back.
And farts.
And farts.
Exactly.
Get out of your headspace.
But turn that shitter. Don't stay in that moment.
Yeah.
No.
What are you searching for? Anytime you're in this moment, you ask yourself that exact same thing. I guarantee you paint yourself in the corner and you have no choice but to think about what we just said.
And ask yourself, is it worth it? Is all that energy worth it?
Because you know it feels way better to smile and laugh. You know it does. Don't stay in the moment.
We're not gonna beat you up all night.
No.
But just take those words. What did
And I love that damn embarrassing story.
I do?
And I know you got more.
And I want details, but I gotta hear what Sarah got her ass into.
See, I'm grumpy today. I don't even know why. It comes from my bad on the typo. Oh, please. Come on, Lemon Lifer.
Oh,
We
my
know what you're
God.
talking about,
Yeah,
girl.
we know it
Yeah.
was yes.
It was it.
it instead of I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Knock
can-
it off.
We can figure it out.
Jeez.
Yeah.
We're
If-
not the most educated, but
if-
damn it, we can read.
If that gets you grumpy, oh my,
My
God.
Yeah.
We got to do
Yes.
some healing work on the lemon lifer.
Yes.
Yes, Lemon Lifer.
Let us heal you today.
Nick Manginetti
Nick
says,
Mangianine.
searching for another bowl of ice cream.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
well-
searching for another bowl of freaking ice cream.
I'm surprised Nick is not around the corner at that damn Casey's trying to smuggle all their pizza out of
Well,
the
he's
damn-
got one closer to him. I think there's
Does
a
he?
Casey's closer in
I
Fort
don't
Wayne.
know. The last time he was here, he was happy to see that
To
there was a
Casey's.
Casey's
Oh,
right
Oh,
there.
yeah. Cool J says, sup.
So,
And Canada says, hello.
Hello. You got my wink ready?
Oh, crap.
Baby girl.
Hang
Baby
on,
girl. Look.
hang on.
Look.
Ready?
Yep. I love you. She's so happy nobody
aren't
can
you-
see her.
Right, I know.
She's so happy nobody can see her
Yeah.
right now. 'cause
Oh,
she,
I bet.
She would just be looking at me like she would want to.
Why are you doing this to me?
Yeah,
Why do you think I'm behind the camera?
right. Yeah.
Okay, let me go back to Sarah's story. Lemon Lifer, we love you.
We do.
We love you so much.
But we love your stories more.
Yeah. Sorry.
Typos and all.
Yeah.
Typos and all.
I probably like the typos too.
Let me go get Sarah's story.
Because that shit was funny. That was like, I could look at that as Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. And how did I get here?
Yeah.
What now?
And where did that dog come from?
Did
And
they see
what
me?
next?
Can they see me? Do you hear me
Yeah.
back
Yeah,
there?
Can you
Yeah.
hear me? Not so much how did it get there, but I
Yeah.
kind of like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
How did I get here? Yeah.
You see what God did? God didn't do it. You did it.
Oh
You
man.
pig bastard.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah,
I
that
don't know
was.
if that one was my favorite or the farting in the grocery store
Yeah.
was my
They're
favorite.
both hitting heavy with me.
They're both good, but
I
I
think-
don't want to be in the position of getting in someone else's car.
I think
That's
that
hard.
yeah.
My-
I think that one's my favorite.
I'm gonna tell one of her. She may never say she was embarrassed, but I know she has emotion and she's not a robot. She was skating in a roller skate, or not? Was it rollers?
Well, let me hold on. Let me
Okay,
let me
yeah,
get
yeah.
Sarah's
Go ahead.
before it disappears in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
chat.
yeah.
Okay, so Sarah says, hang on. When I was in second grade on picture day, my best friend tried straightening my skirt, thinking it was a dress, and she pulled my skirt to my ankles and left me standing there in my undies and stockings in front of the whole class. I still remember the one loud kid with the honky laughing, pointing and laughing at me. Oh, the one honky laugh, pointing and laughing at me. Let's see. That is exactly what he sounded like, but louder and louder. I was and have always been shy, but my friend didn't do it on purpose, so there was no point in being mad. It was just one of those villain origin stories I had collecting dust in my brain.
Oh my god.
That's something that happens in your dreams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are the dreams that I hate when you're walking around naked.
Yeah.
How old was she?
She was in second grade.
Second grade.
It
Oh, that's
wouldn't
the
it wouldn't
worst.
have been so bad if I hadn't had stockings on. They make everything look weirder. Weirder.
For real.
Yes.
Ow. Second grade is rough too because the kids are relentless.
Relentless. They're horrible.
Angie has a great one.
Oh
Ooh.
snap.
Hey, wait, Bug, type yours in there, Bug, with the ice skating and you falling.
Yes.
Yes.
And then I can
yeah.
read it.
Definitely do that.
Yes.
So Angie's is
Damn, wait, hang on. I think we moved on a little too fast here. That must have that still messes her mind
second
up.
grade, yeah.
Oh, wait, she's like 40 now, right? That shit
Yeah.
stays with
That's
you.
trauma.
That's trauma.
Yeah. Well, look at Lemon Lifer. She still remembers.
Yeah, but her shit is ongoing.
Yeah,
It's
but
chronic.
you know what? She's an adult, and
Yeah.
she was probably high as hell when she did it
Yeah.
too. She just ain't mentioning that part.
Lemon Lifer, were you high?
Yeah, and it's chronic with her. It's annual.
Yeah,
You had to have been high.
I bet you was more than annuals every 6 months.
She's got so much trauma. She needs to take like psilocybin microdosing
Yeah.
to control her PTSD.
But to at 2 years of age for you to hold on to that, I think that would be something I would hold on to as well.
Yeah,
Right.
that's tough.
Because I've only dreamed about those moments and woke up like, whew, I'm glad that didn't happen.
Right.
Man,
That's a
Yeah.
rough one, Sarah.
that kid was like,
You got those down pat.
I know.
That's hilarious. Okay, Angie's.
Leave it to a farrier to have the animal noises like that.
Or have a friend named Davey who's a habitual alcoholic.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Angie. work one day training someone, and they were driving. I just got in the passenger seat, not paying attention. I was doing something on my phone and then was about to say, "Why aren't you going?" I looked up, and the other person was just looking at me so confused. I started busting up laughing and then got out. His trainer was standing right outside the car, so confused.
Oh, you're like, wait a minute. I got the wrong trainee. Well,
That's wild.
slap my little bottom pink.
But that's when you're not paying attention.
Yeah, you immediately go straight to your phone. You're supposed to be training,
Yeah.
Oh,
Angie.
So Lemon Lifer said, "Yep, sat down inside the car and everything."
Damn.
Oh, wow.
And then hello, she said hello. He held his arm out the window like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah. Like, I'm over here.
Did you know that?
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Was that a friend or something? Because I totally thought you were just getting into the wrong vehicle.
She said she was terrified. Her eyes were huge, and she was leaning against her door. I'm still surprised she didn't get shot.
Babe, look, this is me getting in the car. This is what I would have done. I would have closed the door and looked.
Yep.
I wouldn't have said shit. They're like, I'm out.
Number one, I'm gonna point this out. Okay, Lemon has a certain privilege. Okay, she's a white woman.
Probably
Yeah.
in a nice area at the post office.
She just got her white privilege card, freshly stamped out at the post office, and it's another white woman.
Yeah.
Okay.
She just got her card too.
Okay. Honest mistake. You get your ass in that passenger seat. It's a full-on carjacking.
It is. It is. Straight up.
Lemon
Straight up.
Lifer said, "Y'all have me laughing now."
Yeah. Crazy.
And Hello thought, he's like, "I must have known them to get into someone's car like that."
See, that's what I would think. I'd be like, oh, she obviously knows this person.
Yeah. Obviously.
Because the confidence is there.
Yeah, she was in there. Hey, girlfriend.
Yeah, yeah. What's up with that dog?
Yeah. Yeah.
And why are you driving my car now?
Yeah. Where's hello at?
And what happened to Hello?
Yeah.
Is he getting us lunch or something?
You know?
Yeah.
And
I
she
hope he's getting it from the favorite spot.
and she drove there.
And
like,
yeah.
And that's the thing. She drove there.
Yeah.
I mean,
she was checked out.
yeah. She got that good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sarah says, "Nah, I've been through so much worse that didn't come close to the kind of trauma that really affects me."
Oh,
my
snap.
goodness.
Well, look, if you want to put it in and you want to work on it with us, feel free.
We'll work on
We're
it.
here all night. Look, but Angie doesn't get a pass on that one.
Right.
I feel like she's not telling us a true embarrassing moment. She's holding out. That was a not paying attention moment.
Yeah.
And
Because she
yeah,
was on her phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's like, okay, it's a little embarrassing, but nah, Angie, nah. You're going to have to come clean.
Yeah, give us some.
Yeah,
You're going to
you're
you're going to have to give us the juice.
You're going to have to come Lemon Lifer level.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to have to give it. Send it.
I want you to expose yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll tell Lars later because we exposed ourselves
Oh,
to
my God,
in front of
man.
professionals. You never want to do
You never
that.
want to do that in front of professionals.
Lemon Lifer says, "I love y'all. I laugh way too much. There's no such thing."
Thing.
yeah,
there's
yeah, yeah.
no
You're
such
not
thing.
laughing enough. Home girl.
As my left side keeps draining, I'm laughing,
Yeah.
and it's hilarious.
It's going to get worse when you laugh, too. It's just going to release
no,
everything.
it is. I should do one of those. Tuck the toilet paper up my nostril like you do.
Yeah, just leave it plugged.
I just
And
leave
just
it
leave
plugged
it
up.
plugged.
Mhm.
Yeah. Angie says, "I tuck those moments away and lock them up."
Ah, come on. Boo.
Boo. Oh, wait. Don't I have one of those?
I wish you did have a boo.
I think I do. Close enough.
Close
Close
enough.
enough.
We'll,
Close
we'll
enough.
take it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did Did Canada send her?
Negative.
No, she probably just.
She's probably catching a baby or something.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, no, today's Sunday.
It doesn't matter. She's on call.
Oh, she's
yeah.
probably knee deep in dirt.
No, she's at the hospital.
Oh, okay. She's probably trying to sleep then,
Yeah.
or making some tea.
Yeah.
I would go for that. That's
Yeah.
probably the option I would go for.
I kind of feel like Lemon should give us another one. Just
Yeah.
go ahead and just
We
put
nominate
I
Lemon
know-
Lifer to give us another
I
story.
know you got like 40, 50 of them in the past
only,
month.
and it's only
And the
because,
month ain't even that long.
No. I'm sure you had one today.
right.
Yeah.
And it's only because she's a train wreck.
But the good kind.
Yeah. To
Ki-
herself.
The kind that we can appreciate.
Right.
Yeah.
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 This woman is hazardous to herself.
We love it.
We have a couple of topics today we would like to share. One being who you think your friends are. And
Lemon Lifer and everybody in the chat. Yay.
okay, those are friends. These are friends that share and they choose to keep the communication going.
Yeah.
But yesterday I looked at my phone. Or no, sorry, this morning I looked at my phone and I looked back in all the recents to see who exactly am I contacting and who contacts me.
Bruh, I can't see you through the damn lavender. I mean, yeah. See? Isn't that bad?
Hello
Oh,
there.
my God.
So
I turned down my mic. I'm sorry.
It was loud.
I'm sorry.
I went through my phone
Yeah.
this morning, went back on the recent histories. And I was like, who contacts me and who do I contact? And it's always the same people. It's like literally 10 people, if that. And I'm squeezing for that 10.
Right.
And I looked at the rest of my contacts and I was like, I haven't heard from any of these people.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I know for like a year, 2 years, 3 years.
Right.
Why are they still in my book? You know, why are they still there?
Right.
And I don't know what made me text Simply and you this morning about it, but I said, you know what? I'm deleting everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have anybody's number memorized, right? So when you delete 90% of your contacts out of your phone, it is so liberating. It's kind of scary,
But you're not missing anything.
but it's liberating.
yeah, but you're not missing anything.
It's like, I know, but for some reason, mentally, it felt like I disconnected in a weird way.
right.
In a weird way. Like, wow, I only have, now that I look, maybe 15 people that I know I can call. And that's a little number compared to like, I don't know, I think it was 40 or 50 people in my contact list.
Right. But those are just people you met over the times you just never really.
Never, or people I've known for years.
Right.
And
yeah.
I can look back on those text message and say, yo, how you doing? And don't hear nothing back. And I ultimately forgot about sending that message. And when I go back and look, I was like, whoa, look at how many times I've done that to certain people and never got a response
Yeah.
back. Why are they still in my phone?
I think it's just one of those, they're just friends in that particular moment of life. But once people move on and go a certain direction, people just, if you're not readily there with them in the same part of the town where you can see you, they just become acquaintances. And they fall to the wayside.
You know how many people are in my contacts that don't live in this state?
I know, that's what I'm saying. But when you were there,
Almost all of them.
And the ones that I kept,
right? But when you were
they still
there,
don't live in this state.
Yeah.
yeah. But when you were there, you had more contact with them. Whether it had been the work that brought you the contact,
But
Right.
it's so funny though. Even even when you were still in the state, they still weren't true friends. They were friends that that you provided something for them.
mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
like I said before,
You're
on
a big
friend-
proponent on that.
friends of
Yes.
convenience.
Yeah.
Friends
Yes.
of convenience.
Yes.
Is what it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So
Like-
in my eyes, they weren't true friends,
Yeah.
and they showed that.
Right.
Some friends will call you out of the blue, and it's not to be your friend. It's to hey, I have a shindig going on. Can you come over and
Help with this, or
help
can
with
you
this, or
donate this, or can you help me sell this,
Right.
or can you, yeah.
Yeah, haven't heard from him in 3 years.
It's always a question,
Mm-hmm.
and it's something that they need, and it's not a a question of concern or to see how you are.
right?
It's something
For the artificial friend, that's
Right.
what it is.
Yeah.
But they may ask that generic, "Oh, how are you?"
Yeah.
Yeah, just to pitch their
And if it
agenda.
ends with,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm good," and they don't follow up with, "Well, tell me what good is."
Yeah,
Like,
I
Yeah.
haven't heard from
I
you in
haven't,
so long.
right? Like, let's talk. Do you have
Yeah.
time to talk?
Mhm.
If they don't do that and spend like an hour on the phone with you and you ain't heard from them in like I don't know how long,
Right.
then it's not a generic thing, or it's not a friendship.
Mhm.
I've done that. I
it's a
deleted.
convenient ship.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Convenient friends, but I've done it. I've deleted like literally 3/4 of my contacts.
Right.
Because not just for everything you said was factual, but I just got tired of being the only one reaching out.
Yeah.
And it's
That
like,
was the
why am I
other-
working so
yeah.
hard
Yeah.
to do this if obviously they don't want to have anything to do with me?
At the end of the day, you get the message.
Right. And I get it. Like I
Yeah.
get it. Life happens, and
Yeah.
you don't have time for that anymore. I get it. I'm just gonna push on now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it's just me. Like a whole France is different, I
Yeah.
guess.
We have a new person in the chat,
Okay.
Willie Barron.
Willie Barron.
Willie Barron's in the chat.
Yes.
Well, what's up, Willie Barron?
What's up, Willie Barron?
Oh my God. my
Willie Barron.
Nostril is just.
Willie Barron.
Yeah. Trying to identify who's your friend and who's not your friend and who has your best interest and who doesn't have your best interest. I've got so many friends out of state that they are relentless in staying in contact.
Yeah.
Unit E being one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Unit E won't let a couple of days go by.
Mm-hmm.
And Donnie.
Donnie Hugh
Yep.
won't let a couple of days go by. Angie, Trayvon.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shit, a lot of these people are
Sarah.
in the chat.
Yeah.
Right.
But that also there are people for me, and I think for you as well, where you have those friends that you don't hear from for months on end, and then out of the blue, it happened to me today. Then out of the blue, you do hear from them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not out of convenience. It's not out of something that they need or want from you. It's for me with this one particular friend. It's always this case. And I do it to her as well. It's something that we see that brings back a fond memory
Mm-hmm.
of time that we spent together,
Mhm.
and we'll send it to each other.
Mhm.
And then we'll go a couple of days chatting on, via text. And then we won't hear from each other for another couple of months.
Right.
But at that point in time where we are communicating with each other, we haven't skipped a
The beat. Yeah.
And we just picked up right where we left off.
Mm-hmm.
And we both don't take anything against each other
Mm-hmm.
for that time that we don't hear anything from each other, because we both know that we both lead very busy lives, so we're not offended by it.
But see, and that's a mutual understanding
Yeah.
between two friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, I can call Mosley,
Yeah.
the deputy that I used
Yep.
to work with, any time of the day, and we pick up like we were still working together.
Yeah. Well, and like you guys with the other friend,
Dietrich.
No, in Wyoming.
Corey
Corey,
Toy.
Corey
yeah.
Toy,
Yeah.
I think there was one point in time it went like a year, maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't
And,
spoke.
and then literally,
We pick up where
Yep,
we left
where
off.
we left off.
And that's
Yeah.
one person I did not delete because I
Right.
know, and that's
Yeah.
so there. Okay, so there are people in my, and let me give a little bit more context as to why I deleted them.
Right.
in life, mentally, spiritually, when you move past a certain person's character, persona, whatever, that I don't want to put myself on a pedestal, but you've moved past them mentally, and in order to contact that person again, you have to resort to an old you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And is it worth it?
Right.
Is it worth taking your energy down a level just to try and have a conversation that is no longer entertaining? It's not teaching you anything, and there's nothing that connects the bond.
Right.
So I just delete all of them people.
Yeah.
And it was a lot, man. It was a
Right.
lot of family
It's
too.
almost like
Right.
a purge. Like
Yeah.
you have to just purge and be
Right.
okay with it and move on.
Right. Because there was a lot of family I noticed in my text message. I was like, hey, what's up?
Nothing.
Don't get no response.
Yeah.
And it sucks to go back because you forget what you do. Like
Yeah.
3 days goes by, you don't even remember sending that message.
Yeah.
But when you're in your phone just on a random and you go back and look and you're like, man, they still didn't even get back. It's been months.
Right.
That's like, yo, why am I even doing? Like you said, why do I even put the
High expectations.
high
on the
expectations and why am I doing this by myself?
self. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it? But correct me if I'm wrong, listeners, viewers. Like, am I overthinking it? Am I not seeing something? Is it just me searching for something?
How long? How long is too long?
How long is too long? And when do you hit the delete button?
Right.
Yeah.
Or when do you know it's not worth anymore because you're always putting out that energy?
Always look at it like that. If I find that I'm doing all the trying and it's been months or years,
Yeah.
then obviously there's no connection there and just move on.
Like I said, you have to realize for yourself, when are you going to receive the message that they're trying to give you?
Right.
Right.
Because
Right.
they're trying to send you a message.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe it's like, hey, I just don't like to,
Yeah.
I don't have time
Yeah.
right now. And,
Yeah.
you can go ahead and lose this number.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
But you can't read minds. And if you can't talk to somebody, like, then how are you ever to know?
Yep.
Because some people, I don't want to just cancel them because what if, it leads to some crazy opportunity, or what if it leads to,
But then
but then you would have been in
but then
contact with them more
Yeah,
frequent.
but then
Yeah.
you're the one only trying to be a friend for an opportunity.
Yeah, not them.
Well, I'm just saying, you never know what happens through anything. Like, it doesn't have to just necessarily be an opportunity. It
But
just,
it goes back to what I was saying. If you're the only one constantly reaching out
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
not doing that, that already tells you.
I've always had those moments too, like, hey, are you like, and this is someone else that I have in my contacts. Hey, do you still have Lamont's number? I've been trying to get a hold of those twins for the longest. I always think about those situations, but that's just me deleting them from my phone. That's not to say they've already deleted me from theirs.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
And maybe they just, you know what? Maybe we are looking at it too with a cynical eye, and just because we're not receiving what we believe to be a friendship or a connection. But I have to think it's universal. In order to keep a friendship, you have to talk to one another.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to at least establish.
It's called conversation.
It's called conversation. What are you up to? What are you doing?
A conversation goes
Right.
two ways.
Yeah.
So
Because
I don't think you're wrong in doing that, and I wouldn't feel bad about doing it because it's obviously led to where it's led.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, like seriously, like last week before we even talked about this, I got rid of a lot of people in my phone book.
Mm-hmm.
Lemon Lifer says, Sarah says, if it's meant to be, they will come back into your life. Agreed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Lemon Lifer says, I always think of that saying, reason, season, and lifetime. Some people come into your life for a reason,
Mm-hmm.
just around for a season, convenience type or not, and then the lifetime.
Mm.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
I always say that.
Yeah.
People always come around for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Always. Nick says, phone calls are better than texting. Yeah, we tried texting
Yeah.
and calls, leaving messages, and Sometimes there's no response to any of them.
Yeah.
Willie says, find out what the issue is first. Well, if they don't return a phone call or a text
You
or
can't,
anything,
there's no
find out.
then
communication.
how can you find out what the
Right.
issue is?
And I agree with Nick. Like, the first thing I always try to do is call first.
Yeah,
I know.
always.
I have a good habit of doing
Yeah,
that.
because texts are notorious for
Being misunderstood.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
misconstrued.
Yep.
Yep.
You can't get the emotion, the context out of it.
But even then, hello is a hello, like how are you is a how are you.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't really mess that up.
Yeah.
If that's what you're saying and you're not getting anything back, then it's kind of hard to say, okay, it's been a month, I haven't heard anything. Let me try calling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because now you fed yourself like, okay, am I interrupting? Are they going through something?
And you know what's funny? Like, here's what's really cool. And I'm going to say this because Nick is on. And this has happened. It's been happening more since we started this podcast. But the first time Marelyn and I got a hold of Nick, it was through us first, I believe, and it was through you first, and you sent Nick our way.
Right.
You were in Ohio, right? And the more we got connected with Nick and the more we had engaging conversation. Okay, Nick works at Sweetwater and he's a sales rep. You have to understand something about Nick. This dude is not your typical salesperson. I don't even know how he makes money most of the time. I know he's good at what he's doing, but Nick will talk to you like, not like a customer or a price tag.
Yeah.
But like a individual who is trying to seek out information and make the best decision for what he's trying to do.
Right.
And won't let you spend more money than you need to. And if you tell him, hey, I'm on the concept of buy once, he leads you to things that you buy once and they last you a long time.
Right.
If you're in the budget of you can't really afford much, he'll still try to find you the best thing so you don't have to buy it again. And when we met Nick, you could see the relationship evolving over time, and we haven't even met the dude in person.
And take in mind, Nick speaks with a lot of people and has a relationship with a wide
lot
base
of people.
due to his job. It's very seldom where someone has a deep impact where you're like, yeah, outside of this business, I feel comfortable with giving these people
my phone number
and pictures of my baby
family.
and my family.
Right,
and I'll come and visit you.
Right.
Right. That's a friend. That's a connection.
But that's a connection rarely made. Rarely do you meet people over the phone and trying to sell you stuff and you trying to purchase things.
Now, see, this is where I'm going to slap you in the face.
And that's just been happening more and more since we started this podcast.
I was going to say, and here you go, you find friends through the podcast, and you're in your own chat. You have more relevance with the people you haven't met face to face
than I do family members,
and that goes to say a lot about friends.
Yeah, and Marelyn and I still laugh at this every day. The only two people that knew we were coming to Indiana,
I know,
was Nick and Tony, the realtor.
Nick is a very dirty individual when it comes to secrets. Let me tell you.
And this is what's scary about Nick. He knows we're twins. He's never seen us in person. He knows which one he's talking to.
Oh, 100%.
And he never dropped the ball.
Nope.
no.
He never let the cat out of the bag.
Nick is cold with secrets. Okay.
He cold-blooded.
When Bug told him the bass that I wanted, right? He knew I was getting it. And I was inquiring about the bass. Like, I don't know, Nick, which one you think I should go with? And I really like this one. And he's just bullshitting me.
He's really good at that.
He's good at it.
He's good.
He's so good at it. And then, so she tells me, well, we got to go to FedEx. And they sent me some stuff from the hospital. I got to clean out my locker. And I'm like, well, why are we going to FedEx? Because the hospital why we can't go to the hospital and get your shit?
Right.
You know, why we have to go to FedEx and get it? Makes zero sense.
Right.
But I'm stupid. So I'm driving. We get to FedEx And this
Nick
base,
says it's the Italian side.
it's gotta be. It's gotta be. We get to FedEx, and it's this base right here that's in the box. I open it up and everything, and she surprises me. And I don't know if I called Nick or he called me, and he was like, well, how do you like your base? And I'm like, you motherfucker. You knew this. And he was like, yeah, I mean, I knew it, but so you like it, right?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. You like it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I knew your brother was coming. I
don't think Nick knew how serious we were about moving to Indiana. I think we probably surprised him too, because he was like, well, I mean, I do have a realtor.
Yeah.
I'm like, send it.
I just hope, well, I don't hope, I know, because obviously this is where the relationship is.
Yeah.
That we were so impactful with each other. We have a friendship
Right.
outside of business in Sweetwater.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't see each other every day, but we know that's a bond that we are all happy and content
and it's
with.
very impactful on
Yeah.
everyone's lives.
Yep.
And, you know, and the same can be said now. Like, I want to know who Lemon Lifer really is.
Yeah.
I want to know who Hello is. Like, we are establishing these
The
connections.
cool J's of the
Yeah,
world.
the Sarahs and the BRFOs and
Yeah.
you know, I really want to know who they are now. Like they are, and they're here supporting us almost every single day.
Yeah.
And these are people you don't even know.
No, right.
And so that goes back to the whole Terrence Howard thing. We can't see this connection and we can't see the bonding, but truly it is there if these people are miles away and we can feel it. There has to be a way to quantify that.
Yep.
You know, I know what Nick would say. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Because he never indulges in the mysticism.
Yeah.
He's,
Lemon Lifer says, you feel it. I had a friend of 7 or 8 years, and it literally came to a point where I'd get a stomach ache if she calls me. The last time we talked, I tried telling her that it's just draining to listen to her vent about drama she created for herself. She talked over me, and I told her I was and told me I was wrong. Sarah said, I know exactly what you're talking about, Lemon.
But to be
We know people like that. Your bush fell.
to play devil's advocate, I think deep down those people, they are desperate for someone not to say anything and just listen.
It's sometimes those people, I think, seek the drama.
yeah.
That may be true, but
They-
there's a reason why they're here we go again,
Searching.
Daryl.
Searching for drama.
They're searching for
Yeah.
it. And they and hear me out, ladies, just hear me out. They haven't met someone to stand against the bullshit of them. They haven't met someone who is going to tell them the truth
Yeah.
about themselves. They haven't met someone who is going to buckle down, put on their boots, and go, you know what? Today, I'm just going to listen to you without any judgment, without anything tied to you until you're tired. And when you're tired and you have nothing to say, I am then going to go in on how I view you.
Especially if they
And
call
if they're
you a
your
friend.
and if you're calling them your
Yeah.
friend, you owe it to them.
But to see, the thing is, though, it before you can even attempt that, they would have to find something within themselves to separate from the ego. Because if you try to tell someone who they really are and they're not ready for it, ego-wise, they won't entertain it. They'll come unglued and make it a big old fight.
Right.
But everybody's dying to know. Like, I know I am. Like, I'm glad that I have friends and family that tell me exactly what I'm like. You know? It's only up to you to accept it, because you will cloud your own goddamn judgment. You
Right.
can never look at yourself and be completely honest on what you're like.
Right.
You depend on good people that love you, that say, you know what? When you get mad, sometimes you do this, and
Yeah.
it's not pleasing to me.
Yeah. Well, shit, Marilyn had a friend, and she told you, be honest with me. tell me. Remember you told me this
Oh,
story?
yeah.
And she told her.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened?
That was the last time we spoke.
But here's the thing, though, real quick. Here's the thing. And she totally missed it. Marilyn was okay with her.
Mm-hmm.
She had a friend.
Yeah.
I know who you are. Now you want me to tell you who you are?
This is who you are.
Yeah.
I don't like who I am. We're not friends.
Yeah. Well,
How cold is that? How cold is the ego to do that?
yeah.
And how many people do you know like that?
Yeah.
Or you see them for the day and you leave their presence going, should I even be friends with this person? Because now I don't even like how I feel
I know why
when I'm
now.
around this person. And if Hello is or
Lemon.
Lemon is sick to her stomach,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
your soul is in the solar plexus.
Yeah, get out of it.
And that friend might just be, somebody who is always seeking drama or
Right.
creating
Yeah.
drama
Yeah,
in
because-
their
Right.
life.
yeah,
So-
because that's them.
But like
Right.
I said, it's a reason why they do it.
right.
And no one is
Yeah, there's something-
cold enough to stand in
Yeah.
front of that person.
There's something deeper to it.
Right.
But now I know why Bug always says, she always says this, babe, you're my best friend. Nothing to do with the relationship or the husband and wife shit,
Mhm.
right? You're my best friend. And I get it because we are our best friends.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We've always said,
Said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Day one.
It
Right.
makes so much
Yeah.
sense.
It can't work any other
It can't.
way.
Yeah.
You can. So there's a lot of marriages out there. I was in one of them
Mhm.
where I was not friends with my wife.
Yeah.
Right.
And it can't work that
And
way.
it can't
It
work that way.
cannot. But yet
Yeah.
they're your spouse, your wife.
Yeah.
Well, when you say that, you're supposed to be friends.
You're
Right.
supposed to be best friends.
And want to hang out and do everything together and go and
Yep.
experience things because you never experienced.
Right.
Even if one person experienced one thing and the other half goes, we have to do this. You do it.
Mm-hmm.
Or whether it's something new or old, you do it.
Yeah.
Because it's your friend. You're supposed to do that with them. Like
Right.
if you have anything in common, that's what you would do.
yeah.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. Sarah says, going back to Lemon Lifer's situation, Sarah says, I get that too, but for self-preservation, sometimes you have to protect yourself from them. I agree.
You do. You
Yeah.
can't let them be energy vampires.
Yeah, no. Simply, Risky says, I figured out my true friends are not the ones who will teach each other everything is great every time we talk or text. If we can't come to each other and say, hey, I'm fucked up right now, it's not a legit friendship.
It's not.
Right.
That's true.
It's not.
That's very true.
And I always want my real friends to call me out on my bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Like I beg you, because if that's how I am in front of you, tell me. Like the only way we can sharpen each other, man and woman, is if we talk to each other.
Being honest with each other.
Yeah. But it always, I always say it, it'll always reflect back to you have to be open to that.
Yeah.
To receive it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
ask it if you're not willing to receive it.
Well, like my friend said, be honest
Right.
with me. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and I asked, are you sure
Sure.
you want me to be honest with you?
Man.
And what did she say?
Yes, please, because I don't understand. It was like relationships. Like, I
Mhm.
don't understand why these men are doing this to me. And I'm like, okay, I'll tell you why.
Right.
And I told her, and she didn't like it.
Today's topic, I know it hits home with everybody because we're talking about it, but this just goes to show to be grateful for the true friends that you
Mhm.
have,
Yeah.
because and you hold them close and
Yeah.
dear.
And they love you for who you
And
are.
yes, you found
All your
somebody-
flaws and
yes,
everything.
Yeah.
Yes,
Because none of us will ever be perfect.
right.
Nope.
And even in a marriage,
Mm-hmm.
it won't be 100% compatible.
No.
You just love that friend so much that both of you make compromises to make it work.
Right.
And you choose to make these things work. You have to wake up every morning and say, I choose this person.
Right. And you know who has a really profound marriage and relationship, and it's really I imagine it must be sometimes difficult, but a very, very inquisitive and explorative relationship, and that's Nick and his wife.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Because there's a language barrier.
barrier.
Yeah.
And they're constantly trying to figure each other out
But that's what it goes back to.
and learn each other's language. Like, how beautiful
And
is
that's what
that?
I was saying. The
Yeah.
compromise.
Right.
Right. I loved you so much. I'm going to learn your fucking
I'm going
language.
to learn. I'm going to come out of all of my facets,
and I'm going to understand.
and I'm
this.
going to understand this, and I'm going to understand your emotions, and you're going to understand
Understand mine.
Right now, all they're doing is dealing with their emotions,
emotions.
and
Yeah.
they're feeling each other.
It
They're
was
probably feeling
great.
each other more than they're communicating with each
Right.
other.
Yeah, it was great to have them over for dinner to see them communicate.
Right.
That was awesome.
Wasn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It just goes to show it works.
It works.
Yeah.
Step outside of your
And
your
you
own
don't and you
shit.
don't need words
You
for
don't.
things to work. I think sometimes the more we say, the more we fuck shit up.
Yeah.
Word.
Sarah says, I have loved some people and been there for them time and time again. To my own detriment, I still love them, but I have to keep distance now. Yeah, definitely.
That's normal.
Yeah.
I would say that's normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Angie says, I'm that way with one of my closest friends. She will ask my opinion and I will be straight up with her. She thanks me for my honesty because none of her other friends will be that way. Well, good. At least she's still your friend.
Right,
Right.
Yeah. That's
Mine is
crazy
not.
though.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so I mean, everybody's dealing with something when it comes to friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't care if you're okay. My brother and I and Risky have been friends for a long time, but we all are different, and we know we different, and we ignore all of that,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and we're still tight,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what. Trayvon know if I'm bullshitting or I'm lying.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be like, "What you lying for, man?"
Yeah.
And I know if he's lying.
Yeah.
And that's okay. You know, when we shoot the shit, that's what we call it, shooting the shit.
Yeah.
It's okay because you are with your friends.
Friends.
And that's what friends do.
Yeah.
And did anybody else comment? Because I'm going to slightly change the subject because it's kind of the same subject, but it's
No.
not. Okay, so we found out a couple of days ago. My brother and I grew up in Long Beach, and we got to Long Beach City in California at the age of 17. And we moved on this this real nice neighborhood. It's known as the Wrigleys. And we lived on Cedar Block. And we were the new kids on the block. And we didn't know it at the time, but one of the young chaps that lived right across the street from us, his name is Dietrich. And he was kind of 1 foot in street and 1 foot in getting his business handled the way he should be.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just leave it at that. And I remember he told us, you know, we didn't look like we were very approachable in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Because my brother and I at that time, you know, we were deep into gang activity and wasn't into much else at that time.
Right.
And I think that was like nearing the time where we were exiting that mentality.
Yep.
So I don't know what made him or what possessed him to initiate contact, but he did. And when he did, he would change our lives forever. And we became really close over the months and the years. He introduced his best friend to us at the time.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Steve Johnson. Steve Johnson was the same, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And so my brother and I at the time were both feet in. We didn't know the other polarity of responsibility. We were just angry hoodlums. I got a different word for it, but I won't use it. And
Hurry up and buy.
there was some people who just didn't want to deal with my brother and I because they knew if they hung out with us, it was going to end in some type of altercation, or we were going to go fight somebody, or who knows. But they stuck it out with us. And the more they hung out with us, the more we started to see who they were and what they were about. And they were always of, look, we can't do this thug thing forever.
Right.
We have to work.
Yeah.
And we have to do something more. So we started to notice, you know,
The separation.
the separation. They weren't hanging around us as much. And Dietrich would hang around us if we're at home and we're not going anywhere.
Right.
Then he'd be like, okay, yeah, let's hang. And then we started getting into like rapping, and we bought this sampler and we were sampling music and we were rapping and, you know, just smoking weed and doing hip hop type stuff.
Right.
And my brother and I started thinking to ourselves, well, if this is the only time they're going to want to hang out with us, what are we doing wrong?
Right.
And my uncle at the time found my brother and I essentially our first job. And they were on a mass hire. The name of the company was called Cleanway. And so we got hired with this company, and I remember Dietrich and Steve were looking for a job. And so when we got hired, my brother and I came back and said, hey, look, we found a job. This is this company called Cleanway. They go in, they clean the stores like Big Five and Guess, and they clean Wells Fargo Bank floors, right? And they was like, well, shit, get us a job. Try to hook us up. We got them an application.
There was no application.
Oh, that's right.
It was just show up.
Bernie and Debbie ran their job or their business a little loose.
Right.
And no drug testing, none of that, because had there were, we probably would not be hired.
Oh, 100% of the employees would be hired.
Yeah. And so we're all like working together. Now, my brother and I are getting a taste of 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
And we got our first paycheck. And before you go further, I remember looking at my very first paycheck. Back then, I'm sure it was, it was an average minimum wage amount. But I looked at it and it was like, oh, $600 or $700 or whatever it was. And I was like, I earned this. And I was like, I didn't have to think about like, oh shit, how am I gonna ask mom for money or whatever.
Right.
I'm actually making my own money. And that just flipped the switch for me. I was like, I'm actually doing this. Like, I'm actually working for a living. After my mind was so distracted with being thugged out and all this bullshit, distractions, it was like, I want more of this. I want to be responsible, and I want to go back to work.
How old were you guys?
17 going on 18. Yeah.
And then just like that, we all carpooled together.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the job. And we would clean these stores and we would do that. And I don't know. It was just, it was.
We could totally feel like, in my mind, I noticed I wasn't so interested in the streets anymore.
Right.
That my girlfriend at the time was like, oh, you got a job. That's awesome. You could tell she was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Hit the B button. Oh,
shoot.
thank God. Got a job.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And at that time, she was introducing the music world to us. And she was like, this hip hop is trash. Like, you guys are listening to, hit that button. You're listening to rap. And I was like, oh, are we? And she started putting us on to like the Cranberries and Matchbox 20 and Dave Matthews Band and Blind Melon and The Cure and Simply Red and Sade, like everything you could think of that was not negative.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So now we're really opening our eyes as to what type of life we were really living. And our hoodlum friends was starting to wonder, well, where's the twins?
Right. Yeah. Where are they at?
And how come y'all ain't hanging with us no more? Because, you know, y'all was the ones like initiating all of the crazy stuff.
Right.
And so over time, they literally stopped calling. And then they stopped coming over. And we stopped going over into that area.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Dietrich and Steve were like, they were really into basketball at the park, right? And Steve was very, very good in basketball. And I believe he tried out for a college that he went to, or at the time, I forgot what college, junior college he was going to. And like we was playing as if he wanted to try out. So we were all like playing basketball hardcore. And I developed my personality on the court. I developed a killer jump shot. Lamar developed his personality on the court, known like a Dennis Rodman defensive player. Dietrich was more of that aggressive player who would serve you an elbow and be aggressive. But Steve had something magical. This dude had a shot. He had teardrops. He had 3-point. There wasn't nothing Steve can do on the basketball court, right? Beautiful to watch on the basketball court. And we would all hang out, and I would start to slowly realize, you know, like, man, these dudes literally told us without telling us, if you still want this friendship to be right, you're not going to stay on the same path.
Right. Because we're not going to entertain it and go down that path with you.
And they commanded it. And my brother and I felt like our feelings was hurt when they would just hang out with each other or go to the job of Cleanway by themselves and not us, because clearly there was still something wrong with us.
Lemon Lifer said, bless you in the chat.
Oh, yes. Yeah, she's going
Jeez.
crazy right now.
Right?
I'm sorry.
And then so more time goes by. And before you know it, we're completely 360, my brother and I. And people who used to know us knew us as the gangster twins that were no longer the gangster twins.
Right.
And then I don't even think Dee and Steve knew what they had truly sparked.
Right.
Because then our minds were getting more mature. Our mother was leaving ultimatums for us. Hey, look, it's either you guys do this or this, but you can't stay here anymore.
Right.
And so my brother and I, we didn't really detach from Dietrich and Steve. We stayed very close, but we went on ahead and started enrolling ourselves into the EMT program. And once we got through the EMT program and we were doing that whole 72-hour shift stuff, that even changed our lives forever, because now we're watching our own immortality. We're answering 911 calls, and we're looking at the world in a different view. And I remember the first time I came home, they said, hey, take the ambulance home. You guys get some rest. We did that. And when I got home and pulled the ambulance in front of the house, you could see two things: how proud our mother was. You could see how proud the neighborhood was. The neighborhood was, and the neighbors. The neighbor was like, what's his name? Chuck Norris?
Yeah, Chuck.
We called him Chuck Norris. His name is Chuck.
No, his name is Pete. My bad.
His name is Pete, but we called him Chuck Norris because he looked just like Chuck Norris, and he was an outdoorsman. And he told my brother, what did he say to you? Like, I'm so proud.
He's like, from where I seen you guys last year to where you are now, it's like watching my own kids grow. I'm so proud of you guys.
Yeah.
I never saw this coming.
Yeah, no one. That's the thing.
Yeah, no one saw it
No
coming.
one, not even Dietrich and Steve. They had no idea.
It was a complete 180 in less than a year.
Yes. And they didn't even know the seed they planted. And now it's like it's on now. And Dee said, man, when'd you get your license to do this?
So like, we had already went to school.
We had already
expedited.
Yeah.
It was a month-long crash course on EMT.
2 months.
A 2-month crash course.
And it's normally a
6 months
to 7
and
months.
we got it
course.
done in 2.
Yeah.
Without clinicals.
It was one of the hardest things I've ever done.
Because it was like every day, 5 days a week.
5 days a week crash, and you needed to know stuff like I've never known. Luckily, our mother was a nurse.
Yeah, and she gave us all the hookups.
And mom, it was even like, go get that phlebotomy card too. Like,
Right.
so we got all that through Jeff, and that ranks up your pay and it ranks up your status for EMT, right? So you could be an EMT 2, a 2 medic, or whatever. And so now that all of this is going on, we slowly started to migrate away from Dee and Steve, but not so far as where we couldn't call each other to see what we're doing. You know, we lived in Long Beach for like almost 7, maybe 10 years before we left out of the city and went to the high desert. Okay. And so fast forward, we moved to the high desert, which is probably almost over 150 miles away from Long Beach and our friends and everything we knew. And in the high desert, we started purchasing horses. We purchased our first home. We started getting into hunting, and we completely just left all of that stuff down in the city. But Dee and Steve never lost contact. In fact, when we bought our first home, they came up to visit.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, wow, you guys are off like a 3-mile long dirt road.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked sketchy as hell out here. Why are y'all out here? Because these dudes are still from the city.
Yep.
You know? And they're responsible. Dee has 2 children. Steve was working and you know, doing what Steve does. And, you know, Dietrich showed my brother and I, it's okay to be young and have kids and work and cut out the bullshit.
Yep.
And that's exactly what young Dietrich did. He raised 2 beautiful girls, and they have a beautiful life with beautiful jobs right now. And he was very young, and he never quit on his family.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, I look up to Dietrich.
And then fast forward, they took our position and moved to Las Vegas.
Yep.
Like left Long Beach and moved to Las Vegas to seek out a whole better way of life. And then we would just do that. We would just stay in contact with them, and life would go on, and it would go on, and we would lose a little bit of contact, but always rekindle it.
Mm-hmm.
But during this, the whole point of this is that our good friend Steve was having trouble throughout life, and he never really did express it to us.
We never knew it.
But he would express a little bit to Dietrich because they were the first to meet, and they were a little closer. Well, ever since I've known him, Steve has always been a drinker. He always had a drink in his hand.
The Paul Masson.
He would
Paul
always
Masson and roll a blunt.
He would always pour drink. He would always ask you if you wanted a drink, and it was nonstop. Well, after he had his first son, his first kid, the problem got worse, and this is coming from Dietrich. He's like putting us in the know. And so he would stop by and check in on Steve and tell him, like, you know, you got to stop drinking. You have to get a hold of your life back. It's getting out of hand. It's getting worse. It was getting so bad that he was becoming deficient in minerals, and he started losing his upper teeth. And he started looking like he was not 46 or 47, but 62, like close to 70, like looking really old and thin, lost all kind of weight.
And take in mind, when Dee told us this, we felt like, oh, we should give Steve a call and get him on the podcast, and let's dig deep on Steve and see if we can't help him.
Right.
And listen to him and help him figure out why he's depressed and feeling this way.
Because we got Dietrich on the podcast, and that podcast is called
Electric Man.
Electric Man.
Yeah.
And it's him in the covers. And check that one out if you hadn't seen it. This is Dietrich's story about, you know, he had some apparitions and some paranormal. But he was telling us about Steve, and we were like, well, let's get Steve on the podcast. Okay, we never dropped that podcast. We actually, in fact, deleted the podcast because it showed a reflection of Steve that we didn't know and we did not want to put out there in YouTube because it was so private.
And it would paint a picture on Steve we
that
didn't want out there.
Right, and that was not the friend that we grew up with. Nor would I ever put that side of him out there for people to scrutinize him and cast judgment.
And that was the wife's idea. She's like, if you love this guy, we don't put him out there. Not like this.
Yeah. Well, I was already on board during the conversation. I was like, this is going nowhere. I remember thinking like this can't. Every other word out of his mouth was the N word, and like every sentence. And it was like he lost all his vernacular touch. And I've known him to be a lot more articulate than what he was putting on. Yes. And he was so depressed. And we asked him the final question to close out the podcast. If someone would come and say from the other side and say, hey, you did a good job here. Do you want to come with us or stay here and fight life? And instantly he said, I would much rather leave this place. And he has 2 very young children. So we already know where his mindset is. Mm-hmm. And during the conversation, he's like, you guys act as if though I'm suicidal or depressed. And we both said, no, we're not saying that at all, but you're saying it. And he took some offense to it. We ended the conversation and it was good. We left on a good note.
And we would still kind of make contact.
Right.
Every other month or so.
So this past Monday, he texted us both and just said,
it was the Monday before last.
How are you guys doing? What are you like? Are we good? And I remember saying, yeah, we're good. And something silly to where he was laughing out loud, and you text him something like, yeah, we're doing good. How about you? And he said he's hanging in there. So Wednesday, did we get this?
I think we got the call from Dietrich on
Tuesday or Wednesday. I want to say Wednesday.
Maybe Friday.
Yeah. Either way, it was last week. We got the call that he got admitted into the hospital, and he didn't know where he was at. He's confused. He's like having these dementia type symptoms. And when they found him, they immediately admitted him and noticed that he had swelling in the genital area and that he was probably 40, 60 pounds underweight. And they had no idea what was going on with him. So they got a hold of Dietrich. Dietrich gets to the hospital, and he sheds some light and gives the hospital staff some kind of a history on him. And they asked, what could you tell us about him? And the first thing that Dietrich, I'm sure, knew the problem and just said, he drinks a lot. He's an alcoholic. Well, to the medical staff, that pretty much wrapped up on what they had to look at. So it's been 4 or 5 days, and Steve, he has nystagmus. His eyes are rapidly moving. They can't stop. So it's like his eyes are having seizures. And he's highly, highly confused. And he's like adding in narratives that never existed to his past. He says he's seeing people that aren't there. And Dietrich has been to the hospital for 5 days now, back to back after work. His wife and children have only been there once or twice. And that is about all that showed up for him. His sisters are due to show up next week sometime, hopefully.
Yeah, they're coming from California, right?
Yeah, they're coming from California. But to get the phone call from D today and to hear it in his voice that we may be losing our friend sometime soon is like, he said, I can't go back to the hospital and remember him that way. He said he looks like he's 60 years old.
And that's just...
And he's 47 years
wild.
old.
And seeing him when we did that podcast that we knew we couldn't release, when I looked at him and he kept putting his eyes down to his computer and never smiled because he was ashamed for his teeth to be looking that way. And I just told myself, I said to myself, I was like, he has a real issue. And like, am I looking at my friend for the last time?
Yeah, I felt that.
That popped into my head. And I didn't want it to pop into my head, but it did. And all I can think about now is the best times we had with him, you know, and what he had to teach. And it affects me bad right now. Like, just thinking about him in the hospital in that condition, and no one cared enough to know where he was mentally. It's
Yeah.
like
His own family won't even show up. Well, the kids will love to, but the mother's not bringing her there.
like that's the thing. The woman he was living with, Dee said, just she really doesn't want to go.
But we can't speak ill of her.
Oh, no one is.
because
I'm
we
not.
No, we're
don't
not.
know what life
Yeah.
I'm not.
they
Yeah, we're not.
were living.
But for
Yeah.
him to be this bad and no one noticed it, and no one, like, I understand what Dietrich's going through because, and we were just talking about this with the contacts in the phone. If someone is not on your level and you have to resort to a person you used to be, you're not going to want to keep that charade up.
Right.
And so you're going to lose contact. And I hope that D is watching this in the future and doesn't blame himself.
Right.
No. You can't take ownership of somebody else's life
Nope.
or their life choices. You didn't make those choices for them.
Mm-mm.
So do not take ownership. Do not go searching for something that does not belong to you.
Right.
Right.
It's not yours. Don't take it.
Right.
And I told him that today. I was like, yeah, she doesn't show up, she doesn't visit, but that's out of your wheelhouse. Yeah, we can talk about it. We
Yeah.
can say that it's not right, but at the end of the day,
We don't know why.
Right.
I don't know if Steve treated her in such a horrible manner. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
only getting stories from, I do know that Steve was the sole provider. Like they said that Steve actually told me this. They would have fights where he would ask her to go get a job to help out and pay the bills, and he's getting a lot of pressure. Like he's doing it by himself, and she didn't want to do that. She just wanted to stay home with the kids. And so that may have been a contributing factor, but that was some situations she shared with me. But I don't know what he was like to her,
Right.
Right.
because I'm only getting his story. But however, I just wanted to tell Dietrich, you don't have to go there every day if you don't want to see your friend that way.
Right.
It's trauma.
Mm-hmm.
We've been childhood friends.
And it's okay.
But I told him it's a blessing that you're the one that's going there every day for him.
Mm-hmm.
Whether he knows it or not, at least I have the comfort to know that if these are to be his last days, he's with somebody that loves him,
Right.
and that he has at least somebody with him by his side.
Yeah.
Like I always that was like one of my number one fears is I don't want to die alone.
Yeah.
Right.
I would at least like to have my family with me
Mm-hmm.
in my transition.
Right.
Right. So that way everybody gets some sort of closure, and I get to say goodbye. They get to say goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
Whether he can't say goodbye or not I think is besides the point. I just think the presence of someone showing up for him
Mm-hmm.
because he closed himself out to so many people
Right.
to get this way.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
he probably closed his main squeeze off too.
Right.
You know, like
Mm-hmm.
I saw how he treated us when we were doing the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't he be doing that, you know,
Yeah.
to that woman
Yep.
easily?
Easily and worse. Like I
And-
said, we don't know what happened, what
Right.
has occurred behind closed doors.
You know what was really profound that when we talked to D today before we went live, what was really profound was he said he was delusional and he kept seeing people and he kept seeing a woman behind the door. Now I remember my mom is freshly, like maybe a month or two, retired from being a hospice nurse.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember some of the stories she told about people she talked to before they were going to pass away. And one of the things were always, do you not see that person right there?
Yeah. They always say that they see.
Do you not see? My mother is
Yeah.
right there. You don't see her?
You guys had another nurse
Yeah,
on.
we had
Trish.
a, yeah.
and
We
she-
interviewed a hospice nurse.
Yeah. And she would say the same
Yeah,
thing.
that was a two-parter. If you haven't seen it,
Mm-hmm.
please watch it. Sarah, if you can remember the name of those two podcasts, could you put it in the comments, please? But when he said that, I kind of wanted to say that to D, but Lamar caught on to it. Lamar was like, "Oh, I don't think he's delusional. I think
on some of them.
on some of them." But we were both at the same time in this feeling like, "Oh, I don't think Steve's there anymore."
Right.
Like what you said about my stepdad
Yeah.
when he was on his deathbed,
Right.
and we literally saw him 2 days before he passed.
Yeah.
And I know when you tell me things about death and people, because
Yeah.
you have this. Well, if you don't know, Marilyn can see the other side,
Yeah.
and she still sees people. She immediately said, "Oh, John's not here. That's just muscle memory."
Yeah.
But he is gone.
That was the second time we went to go visit.
That was the second time.
Yeah.
And I believed you 100%, and I know you know what you're talking about.
Yep.
I truly believe Steve gave up, and something entered that room and said, "Hey, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You ready to go?
Let's go.
Let's go."
Yeah.
But I'm here, and I'm probably going to stay here until you're ready. Now, were the rest of it delusional jibber jabber? 100%, I believe that.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I do
Because he's in that in between.
He's in
Right.
between.
Yeah.
But I do know, like when he told D, "Hey, look, you don't see that woman behind the door."
That was for sure.
When it's things like that,
Yeah.
And it's like very specific.
Yeah.
And I think when we're all in that state, or when we all eventually get there, somebody's like my mom says, someone's gonna come for you.
Yeah.
You just don't know who it's gonna be. But if you don't believe it, that's fine. But through all her career in palliative care, it's a for sure fact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mom was saying these patients were alert times 4.
Yeah.
They would come back and just
They got all of their faculties. They're not delusional. They're not crazy, but they would literally just say, "You don't see my mother right there." And-
Yeah.
And then they would go, "Okay, well, maybe she's here for me." And Mom would go, "That it's okay.
Right.
She's here for you. It's
Yep.
okay.
It's okay. And then later
could
they
go
would,
now.
They would pass.
It
Yeah.
would pass with all of their faculties intact."
Yep.
So you can't, and my brother knows, like Peter Fenwick. If you don't know who Peter Fenwick is, like he studied them, I studied them. There's a lot of things we've viewed. The science and the consensus is spot on with,
Yep.
there's something going on and we know it's there and it's true.
Yep.
And I can only hope that Steve did what he wanted to do in this life, and that it's okay if he couldn't handle this life anymore.
Right.
It's okay if he kind of gave up. I'm not saying it's the nicest thing to do on your family or something you should be worried about. I think a person has their own race to race.
Right.
And at the end of the day, they are responsible for themselves. And if I know Steve, I think he was just done.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
was tired.
Yeah.
'Cause he
I think
always
there you
saw
go,
the
right
world
there.
like-
it was right there, Matt.
Yeah.
He
tired.
was tired.
He always saw
Yeah.
the complaints of the world like this ain't changing, and why black people are treated like this, and why is there haves and have-nots, and I'm tired of struggling. Why is it so hard to get something high paying?
I
And-
remember when we were getting ready for the podcast, it was such an ordeal to help him set up the Zoom.
the
yeah,
Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even then, he wouldn't turn on the light.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
It was so
you couldn't even
dim.
see his face.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, in order for us to do this, we have to see your
Your
face.
face.
And he's like so hesitant on doing it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And then
it
you could
was
tell when he did it.
Yeah, it was
and
a
it-
struggle.
Right.
It was
'Cause he had-
almost like he was
those teeth were-
ashamed
Yeah.
of
because those
himself.
teeth were missing, and he was ashamed.
Yeah.
He was embarrassed to show himself to us because he's now forced to say, "This is what I look like.
Yeah.
This is
Right.
you're looking at me of what I've done to myself."
Right.
And he didn't want to do that, but he
Yeah.
wanted to be on the podcast because we were friends, and he wanted to help us and support us, but he couldn't help and support himself.
Right.
Sarah had a great comment earlier. I don't want to miss it. She said, if they hadn't had that rougher times and dabbled with the hood and drugs and whatnot, they wouldn't have the depth and empathy and balance they have today. They were enriched by it.
Oh, word.
Word.
Hell yes, Sarah.
That was well said.
Yeah.
Lemon Lifer said, I'm with Sarah, 100% respect.
Yeah.
And then Sarah says, yeah, your friend Dietrich sounds like a hell of a man and a goddamn good friend.
Oh yeah. That dude is beyond a good friend. He's a brother.
Sarah says the name of the podcast is Universal Strangers. Great interview. I still want you guys to interview her more and your mom. Hospice nurses are angels on earth.
Yes, they are. And our mom has agreed to come and do a podcast.
Yep.
So I think she may come. It might be this year, and we're going to do it live.
Oh, nice.
Or it might be when Pops is ready to come out towards Wisconsin so he can see his family. So it should be soon. I just don't have a date yet. But that is a plan. We're going to have Mom and Pop on the couch.
Oh, God, it's going to
live.
be a shit show.
And she already knows what we want to ask her. And she has some very, very interesting stories.
Especially with
sweet.
her on, I'm not going to say too much, but she was on a cruise ship.
And that one sticks with me, and I know it sticks with her. And then her neighbor. I don't want to spoil it, but her neighbor, that story is literally God sent. So yeah, we'll get Mom here. My pops had a wild, and this is our biological father. If you've been following the lives, you know we've had stories about our biological father. He's had a wild life too. And maybe we can squeeze something out of him, but he's got some stories to share.
Right.
Yeah.
You know? But
What do you say, you guys
Yep.
play a song? So
Get us out of here.
Yeah, because I
You're
need to-
melting.
yeah.
no, your popsicle's melting.
I literally see you melting.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And we gotta get up early.
We got to get
tomorrow.
up. We got to get my mouth fixed. My tongue is bleeding. The inside of my mouth is bleeding.
Sarah said that I sounded like a dog barking the sneeze. She's like, I thought it was a dog barking.
Oh,
at me."
no.
I was
Sarah, that's
like,
not a good thing to
"Good
tell somebody when they're
grief."
sneezing.
I was like, you guys heard the sneeze? She's like, yeah, it sounded like a little dog barking.
She said, "Burr, burr."
I realized I heard that one too.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God.
Damn beagle in there.
Jeez.
Okay, yeah, we'll play something. We'll get out of here. Sorry, we can't go longer. We'll make it up tomorrow.
Yeah. My sinuses are starting to hurt really bad.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. It's me. It's my fault today.
It's all right. It's not. It's the universe's fault.
Yeah, we'll blame it on the universe.
Yeah, we'll play this jam, and then we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Thank you, as always, for showing up. For those that catch this after the live, thank you for watching.
Yes,
please
thank
go
you
to the
so much, guys.
Please go to the Patreon and the Etsy. We have gear there, merch, support. We would appreciate it.
And I linked the Dietrich's podcast in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
go ahead
It's
and
in
watch that and see who Dietrich is. He's a very awesome dude.
Oh my God, I'm draining it.
And then we got to get this woman out of here.
Oh jeez. Oh, okay. What you doing there? You beatboxing?
That's the
homie?
remix. That's the remix.
Dang, all right, let's go. That's one way to get us out of here. Bye, everybody. Sorry for sneezing so loud.